It's the month of May, popularly known as the month to celebrate workers across the world. On this edition of Labor Lens, we'll be focusing on Nigerian workers, their struggles, their pains, their achievements, and also their demands. I'm Sharon Ijason, and welcome to Labor Lens.
I want to use this medium to greet all our stakeholders, our employers of labor in the maritime sector, the Managing Director of Nigeria Port Authority, the DG NIMASA, the ES of SIPAS Council, and other relevant agents in the port, that the workers, they are the engine room of whatever that is going on in the port today, that they should accorded them their dignity, the respect they deserve as an employee under employers. So the union, the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, will continue to partner with all the relevant stakeholders in the port.
We will continue to pressurize the federal government because like all these forest paper, let them release forest paper for the private sector, the commercial paper, let them release it for the factories, so that the factories will be able to continue with their production, and when there's production, there will be work for workers to do. Then if the worker is working, then the economy will improve.
Despite the harsh economic situation, despite the effect of the economic situation on job loss, which makes that there are lesser people in the work environment doing the same thing that various people should have done, they are still contributing their bits, they are still doing their bits, they are still striving to do what is necessary of them. It means that they are the pure Nigerian, the Nigerian that are so determined to take Nigeria to higher grounds. So I celebrate them, I wish them a happy Workers' Day, and I encourage them to keep on doing the best until we get to the promised land.
Just like the April-May that was approved to be paid in December, well, we persevered, and today the April has started dropping. So they should always have that faith in the leadership. We are leaders that are not trained to betray. We are leaders that are trained to serve. We make sacrifice rather than exploiting them. So with God, all things are possible. They should have faith in God.
Every year, the 1st of May is celebrated as International Workers' Day. The day is set aside to commemorate achievements of workers and spread awareness about their exploitation. In 1889, May 1st was chosen as a date for International Workers' Day by socialists and labor activists to commemorate the Haymarket Affair in Chicago, United States, and the struggle for an 8-hour working day. In Nigeria, May Day is a public holiday set aside to remind stakeholders of the need to promote decent work. In the quest to find out more about the challenges facing workers in private and public organizations, it was gathered that many still earn less than 30,000 naira minimum wage. I met Ali Taye, a graduate of education, who is a contract teacher at a private school in Lagos. He earns less than 30,000 naira a month, which according to him cannot sustain him.
Irrespective of your qualification anyway, in some areas you find out that we earn less than 20,000 as a salary that is not a take home for us, because this is something you can spend on your way home, and that is what is referred to as salary. So it is not good enough at all for our members. Employers, to some of them, based on our interaction with them, some have this complaint of we are able to pay based on what we are getting, that we are willing to pay more than that if our incomes increases, while we have some of them that are earning more but choose to be using staff like slaves. While they are taking more, they are giving the staffs a peanut, and that is making us to live a kind of a miserable life, if I may put it that way, because it's a very worrisome situation, and the government needs to do a lot if the education sector is to be given the desired priority.
As you've said, a lot of disadvantages. One, it lacks focus. One wouldn't be able to focus entirely in that aspect of professionalism. They are going to deviate both psychologically, mentally, and otherwise. You know, when a man is thinking about the belly alone, he won't be able to focus his attention on the major thing that he has been trained to do, because what he or she will be running after is the means to survive, to take care of himself and the immediate society. So it has a lot of disadvantage on that aspect. They won't be able to focus and they lose that direction. Nobody, an hungry man is an angry man.
For many weeks, I searched for contract workers to speak with on their predicament. Many of the workers refused to speak on camera, but we gathered that many of them earn about 500 to 800 naira daily.
I earn 800 naira daily. That means I earn 14 to 20,000 monthly, depending on if I meet the target. Sometimes we do work from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. We do overtime.
From findings, industrial areas in Lagos and other parts of the country seem not to be booming anymore. While some experts believe that most factories reduce number of workers to maximize profits, others blame lack of robust economy. This is a frequent message an average unsuspecting unemployed youths come across in Nigeria. It is written on walls and gates of some factories, indicating possibility of a call to get a job. But most times, the jobs are on contract basis. President of the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) Ayuba Waba at several fora spoke on the collapse of the industrial sector and indecent employment.
The middle class in Nigeria today doesn't exist. You have only the poor and the rich. And we have over 90% that are actually poor, and then you have possibly less than 10% that are rich. We should be able to build a stronger middle class if we have good policies that will be able to make sure that we're able to produce instead of becoming net importers of finished products.
For President of the Nigerian Employment Consultative Association (NECA), Taiwo Adeniyi, many companies in the country closed between 2009 and 2021 due to harsh operating environment. The surviving ones are described as ailing.
Businesses operate in an environment. Every environment is subjected to both internal and external forces. As much as you may not be able to undo in totality what those external forces are, but you can recognize your internal forces and deal with those internal forces because they are internal to you. You could marshal every of your resources around it and get it addressed. And so, if I go on to start reeling out a number of these internal forces, going from over-regulation, over-taxation, and everything is all around over. We're glad to note that just recently, the president appointed a renowned economist as an advisor on the economy of the country. We are waiting to see what effect that would have if it will be allowed to work. Because what has happened is that some time to come, we're now going to begin to see a critical analysis of our economy and a better advisory role from renowned economists to the government. So, for instance, I would expect that such individuals who have been saddled with that responsibility will do a lot more of interaction with the organized private sector to know. Because if we recognize the contribution of organized private sector to this economy, then such individuals should always have some form of interactive section, some roundtable discussion, always with the organized private sector. It's okay, let's fill your pulse. What is it that you think if we do, would move your contribution to the economy from this point to that point. That's what we expect. And we hope that that robust interaction will start as soon as it settles in. And that would have good impact on the economy.
Many workers who earn below the national minimum wage are hopeful that the Nigerian Labour Congress, Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, and other relevant stakeholders will do the needful to ensure that the rule of law is being upheld. According to a 2022 Labour Force survey by Statista.com, the unemployment rate in Nigeria has reached 33%. The country's unemployment rate rose to 33.3% in the fourth quarter of 2020. That was up from 27.1% in the second quarter of 2020. On the Profile Interview segment this week, I'll be speaking with Dr. Senator Chris Ngige, the Federal Minister of Labour and Employment. He brings us up to speed on the need for Nigerian workers to actively participate in the politics come 2023. It's good to have you on the program.
Yeah.
A lot has been happening in the labour space and the political space, and it's to make a celebration, of course, and we know that that's your office, to ensure that workers' rights are protected, to ensure that workers actually do have a decent wage. First, what would be your message to the Nigerian worker vis-a-vis the several challenges that the country might be faced with?
Yeah, the message will be premised on the theme of their celebration today, which talks about political governance, politics,
Good
labor,
governance,
and national development. All in a mix translates to the well-being of the people of Nigeria, which also include the workers themselves and the employers. In the main, we ask Nigerian workers to still remain tenacious, patient, embrace the tenets of decent work, social dialogue, all ingredients needed for a good working milieu. It is in a good working milieu that you are productive.
Sure.
If the milieu is not good, you're not productive. So both the employer and the employee have to forge a synergy to make sure that the work goes on, that employment goes on. Like I said to them today, you need an employer so that you can be an employee, which is worker. You also need a worker for your establishment, for your enterprise to roll on or to even come in existence. That's why you are an employer. You can have all the money in this world and you want to establish an enterprise, and if no worker agrees to work with you, then you're not there. So my message is simple. Yes, there is no time to process for anybody, but even the employer and the employee made more difficult by the economy, which we have now in Nigeria. Our economy has gone to the doldrums, whether we like it or not. Occasioned by bad planning, years of bad planning, no diversification, relying on mono economy of petroleum for everything, including excessive importation and no encouragement to agriculture. But now, all those are being tackled simultaneously. We need to feed ourselves, grow what we eat, not import. The workers of Nigeria have to exercise some patience. The farmers in Nigeria, who are also workers, have gained from the diversification. And the agro-allied industries also have gained. So to me, we are late in diversifying, but it's better late than never. And I also want to use the opportunity to say that politics is the art of governing people. And no presidential election, no governorship.
So you would say that there is an urgent need for Nigerian workers to be active participants
Yes,
when it
yes.
comes to politics, and it
Yes.
can change that trend of us not having a lot of people come out when it comes to the electioneering day.
That's it. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. They have to. They have to. And today, I think it was when they were doing their march past. I think I saw two workers' association that their members were brandishing their PVC, their voters card. Yes, they were showing it. All members marching with the PVC all. So, if they all agree and get to register with members of their family, there will be a very big force. There are programs that are union members before from the employers group and from the working group. The labor people in America that they had in Biden's coming up.
So if you say you're one of the workers and you've been leading them for the past 4 years, how would you assess your leadership so far?
Well, I have been the competent authority for labor matters in Nigeria because government is the competent authority. I wear a dual cap. I wear the cap in a government official, public officer, minister, as recognized by the Constitution, with portfolio into labor. But the same government that appointed me is an employer of labor. Therefore, as Minister of Labor and Employment, I wear double cap.
You're also a medical doctor. So how much of all of these experiences do you want to bring to fore to lead the working force or to lead Nigeria as a whole?
A leader that the Nigerian people will need now must be a leader that is a visionary. He must be a visionary leader. We will stand here on the ground level and see things that people who have gone up to the top of the trees cannot see. In terms of government business, you must also be intelligent. Governance and leading of people is not for mediocres. You must be intelligent so that you can aggregate dissenting views, supporting views, put the chaff and the wheat together and sift out the undesirable those you are made. That's the leader. And you cannot do that unless you have an intelligent mind and brain to decode some of those things. You must also, apart from being intelligent, be courageous because you have to take difficult decisions. Difficult decisions. There were so many decisions left for President Buhari to take by President Jonathan. The single treasury account, TSA, was on the table. It wasn't done. The President Buhari that did it. There were a lot of whoos and cry from government corporations, agencies, and departments. Oh no, we don't want to be putting our money into one account. Same goes for IPs. But on the table, it was started willy-nilly. President Buhari said, no, we need to know what we are paying and who gets our money.
For many workers have been opposed to IPs.
No, they will oppose it. They say that certain times it doesn't give them latitude. Oh, we on leave of absence, he refused to pay us. Then if we go on leave of absence at the same time. If you're going on leave of absence and do the right thing, and it's captured, because IPS is a computerized system, garbage in, garbage out, it will pay you. Some also say we go on sabbatical, it doesn't pay us, the same thing. What they're running away is that a lot of people were not paying taxes for IPs because the platform being used then was GIFMIS. And GIFMIS platform were done by the university authorities and bossers. Therefore, people in the university teaching hospitals and federal medical centers, people in the universities and university centers, people in polytechnics, they go to the tax boards of their states and do discussions, make deal, in quotes, and they don't pay appropriate taxes to government. And they're federal officers. So they make deal and pay about 2.5% on payee tax, whereas the payee tax is about 7.5%. So what happens then? The different tax boards, the state tax boards, who at the end of the annual year petition the joint tax board that the federal government should pay them for their workers in their states by this X amount of money. Penalties for those ones of about 800 billion naira for federal account. Taxes alone. So and then we're not also returning what they call cooperative loans that they took, which are supposed to deduct as source. IPs deducts them as source. So when they quarrel with IPs for also deducting National Housing Fund. The National Housing Fund deduction is a law. So these were not being deducted before using the dismissed platform. I can understand what they are saying. Because when you were not doing paying all these things before, some of them were earning 600,000. And then with that kind of deductions, appropriate deductions being done now, they were earning 400,000.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of money.
So very quickly on a final note.
So this is the issue they have with IPs. I'm not a defender of IPs. I'm not finance ministry. I'm not accountant general. That is why we even supported that the UTAS that they developed can
pass for them.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on. There's this big challenge of the economy.
Yeah.
The economy is not booming. As a journalist, I've visited so many factories that used to boom. It's either they're not in existence or they're struggling to survive. Yes, come 2023, the baton will be handed over to someone else. You're one of the presidential aspirants. If the ticket is given to you, what will be your pledge to workers and Nigerians at large towards ensuring that maybe the economic policy will be there to move us forward in terms of us having a more robust economy, perhaps people will be able to earn a decent wage, perhaps maybe inflation might be checked?
Sharon, let me tell you, I'm not an economist by training, but I did fundamental economics. First in the university, as a student in the University of Nigeria and Nsukka. You're not left to go out from University of Nigeria and Nsukka without a broad knowledge. So I did what is called General Studies 207. You do philosophy.
I still remember very well.
Yes.
You came out with your first class, right?
Then I did also use of English language. Prior to that, I've done little economics at O level, but I didn't present economics at GC or WAEC because it would made me take 11 subjects. I did 10 subjects. The essence of any economy is the law of supply and demand. You look at the supply section and you look at the expenditure section. That is what is an economy. So when some people come here and sit down and be reeling out statistics, I will create wealth, I will do this. They're using econometric jargons. That doesn't improve anything. You have to be a good manager of resources. You have to know how resources are created as a government person. Then you look at the expenditures section. You also look at the expenditure and prioritize them in terms of needs, because they're competing needs. And in the executive, I'm a two-time minister. of the Federal Executive Council. So I'm not sleeping there. I know what is happening in every ministry from there. If I don't know, because of the memo coming from your ministry, which you must inform me, you inform every other member of council, you send your memo to us, we read, and come and discuss it with you. If your discussion with us doesn't suit us, we will tell you that this memo will not fly. So if you don't come with that memo to inform me, that's for me to get some knowledge, you can have labor issues. And when you get labor issues that come, I will pry into the running of that ministry agency, because I'm conciliating. You put your case, labor, the workers will put their own case. So I have a very broad view of governance. And of course, you know that in the international scene, I'm also a big player in labor diplomacy. You know my role in the ILO. You know that I brought Nigeria back to the governing board after 10 years of absence. So a lot of politicking, a lot of lobbying, a lot of diplomacy. I brought them back. With Togo assisting me. That was 2017. 2019, I become the president of the government group, 187 countries of the world. It's a big honor. Nigeria heading it. We headed the United States, we headed Russia, we headed the UK, we headed everybody under the person of Nigeria. So, international level diplomacy, I'm a diplomat already. So if I'm president of Nigeria, they have a president who is a diplomat. I am that round peg that the Nigeria as a whole, round hole, is now.
Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
And that's all we can take on today's edition of the program. Join us next week for a fresh edition of the show. I am Sharon Ijason. Thanks for watching, and remember that labor creates wealth.